Well, hello there and welcome to the results video for our pick a card for the week of Sunday, September 15th through Saturday, September 21st. You are to select card group number 1, card group number 2, or card group number 3. When you make your selections, make sure that you comment your card, whichever card group you selected, in the comment section below. When you do so by Monday, September 16th, then your name is entered into the hat to win our September giveaway, which will be announced at the end of the month. Now, if you would like to go ahead and skip ahead to your card group, make sure you check the timestamp down below, and you can actually skip ahead to the minute where I start your card selection. I'm doing something a little bit different. Well, I'm not really doing something different this time. I'm actually going to just call it something different. Instead of just doing announcements in this opening, I'm actually going to give you a little bit of insight into what this week's pick a card is really all about. This pick a card is really all about, every week I have a theme where I say what you need to know, do or be aware of. And this week, we're looking at what you need to know, do, or be aware of as it relates to the new phase and the new cycle in your life. Today is Saturday the 14th that I'm filming this. And yesterday was Friday the 13th. Ooh. A lot of people have a lot of superstitions around that day, but it's actually a pretty good day. But yesterday, Saturday, was Friday the 13th, and it was also the full moon in the sign of Pisces. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that and how that is actually related to this week's pick a card reading, because the full moons, if you watch my video, Everybody's a Virgo, including you, I talk about how when we are in Virgo season and there is a full moon, it is always in the sign of Pisces. Whatever sign the sun is in, whenever we have a full moon, the moon is in the opposite sign. And so because the sun is in Virgo, the full moon occurred in the sign of Pisces. And I believe it's still hanging around in Pisces even today. The moon stays in a sign for at least two and a half days or so once it enters. And so the moon is still in the sign of Pisces. And Pisces, being Virgo's opposite sign, is kind of like the flip side of Virgo. Each sign has its opposite sign, and so Aries opposite sign is Libra, Taurus opposite sign is Scorpio, so on down the line. And so Virgo's is Pisces, and so it's kind of like they are two sides of the same coin. Both Virgo and Pisces seek to serve. They deal with habits, they deal with rituals, and habits are nothing more than just rituals that are repeatedly done. So whereas Virgo looks at our earthly, down to earth habits, what we do in our day-to-day lives, Pisces deals with those subconscious habits, those subconscious behaviors, and even those beliefs that govern what we do on a day-to-day basis. And so this week's pick a card, I am looking at the cycles that we are in, because so many people are focused on the full moon, and it's very interesting that the moon goes through cycles. It goes through what most people hear about is like moon phases, like what phase is the moon in? It's in a full moon phase, or it's in a new moon phase, or a quarter moon, And so the moon helps us to understand not only how we change day to day, how we go through our own phases, right? How we go through our own changes, whether it be changes in moods, changes in feelings, changes in likes and dislikes, but also over a long term, it helps us to see how we go through phases of life and the cycles of life. That's why when you think about people who are farmers, and particularly in in times past, and I'm certain it still goes on now. It definitely still goes on now, but you heard more about it in, long time ago, when people did so much by the phases of the moon. The phases of the moon determined what we would grow, when we would grow, different holidays, different festivals. Even if you are a part of any particular religion, if you study the roots of the religion that you practice, let's just say you practice Islam, or you practice Christianity or Hinduism, Buddhism, any religion, you will find that so many of your holidays and celebrations, the origins of those were built around the cycles and the phases of the moon. So yesterday we experienced, the moon went fully full in the sign of Pisces, which is, like I said, opposite of Virgo. So it's that opposition happening. Virgo is saying, okay, what's going on in your day-to-day habits? What daily rituals are you practicing every single day, whether they be religious or just rituals such as, I always use this example, rituals such as, getting up every morning and fixing a cup of coffee. That is a ritual, that if you don't do it, if you don't practice it, you might feel a little bit off, right? So that's a daily habit that has become a ritual. And so that's what Virgo is looking at. But this full moon in Pisces is also challenging us and challenging that Virgo sun, to get us to go even deeper. What subconscious behaviors and patterns are creating the rituals that we have? Are our rituals and habits based on some sort of subconscious pattern that is helping or hindering us? What beliefs do we really hold true to? What Pisces full moon is also asking us to look at not only our beliefs but our fantasies and our dreams, that we hold dear to. And what do they mean to us? Pisces full moon encourages us and reminds us of the value and the importance of dreaming, of fantasizing, of imagining the next phase of our lives. Pisces energy in general is very good at that. How Pisces energy becomes what some people would say self-sabotaging or sabotaging is that you get locked into the dream, you get locked into the fantasy, you get locked into the illusion or the imaginary, and you can't pull it down into reality. So that's where the Virgo side of that coin comes in, because Virgo is saying, okay, well, how can we make this practical? How can we make this real? So I encourage you to watch Everybody's a Virgo, including you, because we are still in Virgo season. Sometime next week, we'll actually be going into Libra season, and I will be recording Everybody's a Libra, including you. So make sure you look forward to that as well. But when you watch Everybody's a Virgo, I talk a little bit about the moon and this Pisces full moon and the relationship that it has to the sign of Virgo. And whether you are a Virgo or whether you are a Pisces, it doesn't matter. You can be any sign. You could be born any time of the year, be any sun sign. But you are living here right now today when the sun is in Virgo and the moon is in Pisces. And even if you're watching this later on in the week and the moon is no longer in Pisces, that Pisces full moon is still having a lasting effect on all of us. And so it doesn't matter what sign you are. It just matters that you are here living and breathing during the time when these events in the sky took place. And they speak to us and we speak to them. We are part of the universe. The universe is a part of us. All right. And so that's why this week I'm looking at what we need to know and be aware of and even do in order to prepare for our next phase. Also because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So when I see a moon in Pisces, particularly, like this full moon that we just experienced, that means, our next moon phases will be, major moon phases will be in the signs of Aries and Libra. And Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so it's like starting anew. And so Pisces energy is always preparing for the new life that is getting ready to come. So when we go into Libra season next week, we'll a couple of weeks after that, we'll have a new moon in the sign of Libra also, but then we'll have a full moon shortly thereafter in the sign of Aries. So the next full moon will be in the sign of Aries. Okay, so this full moon is in Pisces, where we're still dreaming, imagining, and then by the next full moon, we're bringing it, we're pushing forth with that fiery Aries energy, pushing things forward into life, for lack of better words. But we'll talk more about that at that time. So I just wanted to touch in on that because I want you to have a better understanding of the cards, of what this particular pick a card is all about. So announcements, make sure that you click the link below and book a personal reading. You can get the Magic of Me intuitive natal chart reading, where I look at your full birth chart. You can get the Magic of Me mini edition of the Magic of Me intuitive natal chart reading, where I just look at your sun, moon, and rising sign and interpret that for you. You can also get a general question reading. So if you just have a question about something in your life and you want some clarity on, you would select the general question reading. You can also get my book, The Magic of Self-Love. And you can also leave a donation. If these readings are benefiting you in any kind of way, then I highly encourage you to step into the law of reciprocity and to support the free work that I do on this channel. This is clearly a labor of love for me, but I definitely appreciate you showing your appreciation. So I think that's it for our announcements. Yeah. So those of you who selected card group number 1, your reading is up next. All right, so those of you who selected card group number 1, this is your reading. Before I get started, if you skipped the talk that I had at the beginning, I won't call it just announcements, but if you missed the talk that I had at the beginning, I really went into detail about this Pisces full moon that we just had and how it relates to this particular pick a card reading. So make sure you go back and listen to that. And also click the link below to book a personal reading, get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, and to leave a donation. And so the cards that you have at the top of your deck, or your stack, I guess your deck, you have 2 cards, stones. Child, the stones you have, not the cards you had. What did I say? I don't know. You can rewind that and listen and laugh. Anyway, the stones that you have are amethyst and labradorite. And I put these 2 stones together because they really deal with the spiritual world, with intuition, divine insight and intuition. Amethyst is one of those stones that people really connect to the crown chakra, and meaning where it relates to what divine inspiration, divine wisdom, divine insight, clarity, and also, but it also helps with that love energy as well. And it works very well with this stone, labradorite. And I love this stone. This is how it looks raw on this side, and then you'll often see it polished. And when it's polished and smooth, when you turn it like that, you can see it kind of light up, sort of. There we go. You can see it light up. It's a very pretty stone. And it also deals with the etheric world, the spiritual world, the unseen, and helping to balance the spirit world and the physical. So helping you to balance your spiritual insight and wisdom and intuition with the physical world. And so there's a lot more that could be said about these 2 stones. But since this is a card reading and not a stone reading, I'm going to encourage you to check Google and look up amethyst and labradorite to learn more about these stones. All right, so if this is your first time watching, let me remind you that you have until Monday, September 16th, to comment your card selections below in order to automatically be entered to win our September giveaway. So the card that you have on the top is from a Goddess Energy deck, And some of the goddesses I am still learning about. A lot of them I'm already familiar with. And none of the cards I flip over before I actually start recording. So I don't know which goddess you have. So what I'll do is when I flip it over, I will give you my insights on the particular goddess, and then I will actually read the information about this card, the empowerment message that the goddess has for you, and then the alignment message, just in case you find yourself out of alignment with the message that the goddess has for you. And though this is a goddess deck, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. The message is beneficial and is the same for us all. All right, so you got Mary. Wow, like Mother Mary. Mary. And her energy that she brings is miracles. This is very interesting because, the story of Mary, many of you may be, familiar with to a certain degree. Mary appears in, and a lot of you may even feel like she's not a goddess. She's the mother of Jesus. And so it's not, again, even though this came from a goddess deck, I really want you to just hear what the message is about, because it's really just the message that comes to us all from feminine women, from the feminine energy. Okay. And so Mary, you see her story in Christianity, Islam, in Judaism, and this particular type of woman appears in a lot of other traditions, meaning a woman who brings forth a savior, a woman who brings forth a redeemer, or someone who will be the hero of their people. The energy of Mary, or the message that Mary has, is that a lot of times we have gifts, we have talents, we have gifts, we have skills, we have something within us that could change lives, that could be revolutionary, that it could be a total game changer. But it's coming from a source that doesn't appear to be one. The story of Mary in the Christian faith, she is a young woman, even though on this card she looks older. So we'll read more about her in a second. But she's a young woman, a teenager, and just a regular, young lady in her community. And she's betrothed to be married. Her life seems like it's all panned out. Her life seems like it's already planned. She knows who she's going to marry. In traditional Jewish culture, she probably already knew what her role in society would be. So her life was pretty much already planned. And then boom, she becomes, according to the story, impregnated by a savior, by God, by immaculately conceives a child without having sex, without having that sexual encounter, meaning she is just filled and imbued with the Spirit of God, so much so that new life is formed within her. And it totally changes her own life. Game changer, reset, new plan. We will not continue the regularly scheduled program. Your life has changed forever. And so, and there's so much more to her story depending on which text you're reading from. But the message that I'm feeling that some of you perhaps need to hear at this time is that miracles come from lowly places. Miracles, you may think that you can't achieve or have or do the things that you desire to do in your life because you're looking at your shortcomings. You're looking at what you don't have. You're looking at, maybe the education that you don't have, the experience that you don't have, just the skills that maybe you think that you don't have. And what the story of Mary tells us is that when you allow yourself to be open to, God, if that's how you define that, that energy, God, or Jesus, or the Most High, your ancestors, your higher self. And I'm using all of these phrases because I understand that I'm talking to a wide range of people. I'm not just talking to one person. So if I were speaking to one person, then I would refer to that how you would want that to be referred to. But when you open yourself up to the understanding that yes, you are human with human flaws, human what it seems you are incapable of doing and achieving in your life, but when you open yourself up to that greater life energy that's already resident within you, you can give birth to miracles. You can give birth to what changes your, not only your life but your community. You are bigger than what you think you are. You contain more, you have more power than what you think that you have, and you have more of an influence. And there are people who are waiting for you to give birth to that which is already within you, so that they can have their miracles in their life as well. So let's read the actual message that comes with this card for Mary. The alignment message says, the Christian goddess Mary, Mother of Miracles, has come to celebrate with you today. She is here to remind you of all the amazing wonders that are everywhere in your life right now. Look around you, especially at all the synchronistic events that have already taken place. Ever since you were born, events and opportunities have come together to support you, guide you, show you love, and present the world as you see it. Look closely and see the hand of the divine working on your behalf. You are a powerful co-creator, and so you are responsible and accountable for the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that seed your field of dreams. Remember, miracles are uncanny evidence that from the invisible world, life springs into form without any reasonable cause for the effect. Mary gave birth, as the great goddess was shown to do long before the Christian story of Mary became real. She too proved herself to be the very essence of creation itself. In this moment, Mary reminds you of those miracles that you too can call into being. You don't need a cause or any evidential fact or calculation to believe, and then see the miracle rise up in the conditions of your life. When Mary appears, you are reminded that you will never run out of miracles. And I want to clarify here the reading for this card says, Mary gave birth as the great goddess was shown to do long before the Christian story of Mary became real. And that just ties into what I was saying earlier, that, throughout all faiths and all traditions, there's always this story of a woman who just immaculately conceives from the divine and gives birth to a hero or something bigger than herself. So that concept has always existed long before we became known of Mary's particular story. And so for you, it's in the empowerment message is that, you may look at your life and say, how can I give birth to miracles? I'm just this person. I'm just this ordinary person. But you aligned with God, you aligned with source, you aligned with your ancestors, the Most High, your higher self, however you define that for you with that energy are unstoppable, and you can create anything. And so the alignment message, when you find yourself out of alignment this week with miracles, the alignment message says, have you stopped believing in miracles? Do you think they are only for others or doubted their existence? Could it be you've been reading and watching the news too often and so finding yourself feeling powerless and despondent? Or has the dry spell of your life gone on so long you have stopped looking for water? Have no fear, for the goddess Mary, Mother of Miracles, has a message for you. This is all about your mindset. This moment is an opportunity to turn things around, and it begins with you thinking, with your thinking? What if you remembered that your repeated thoughts, feelings, and beliefs call the world into form? What if you recommitted to your co-creative partnership with the divine and from there choose another way to experience your life? You have the power of Mary, the mother of miracles, running through your veins. She did not need the seed of a man from outside her to give birth to a miracle. In the same way, you don't need your outer world to change first. You don't need someone to rescue you, love you, or take you away. You are the one you've been waiting for. You need only choose how you will respond to your current reality and focus on a day at a time in service to the miracle of life. What is for you has its own divine timetable. Your alignment task is to remember that. Wow. So just like Mary, you have to remember that, the great, the greatness that you desire for your life, or what you think may be impossible for your life for you to experience in your life is definitely possible when you align to the fact that miracles do happen, miracles do occur, and for miracles to occur in your life, all that is needed is for you to know that power resides in you to create those miracles. As long as you're looking at your physical world and looking at what is and being frustrated with that, then you're blocking miracles from happening in your life. This reading, this pick a card is all about what you need to know, do, or be aware of in order to be prepared for your next phase. Go back and listen to the announcements at the beginning where I talk about this new moon that we just experienced in the sign of Pisces. This full moon that we just experienced in the sign of Pisces. You're being ushered into a new phase of your life. And this new phase may seem big, or what you desire for the next phase of your life may be so big that you're like, little old me, how am I going to do that? How am I going to accomplish all these big things that I desire? Or how am I going to change all of these challenging things that I see right now in my life? How do I turn this around? And it's your belief in miracles, and it's your belief in the higher power that resides within you to give birth to your miracles. All right. So let's see what your other cards are saying. This bottom card here, yours is your general energy, general wisdom. What crosses it helps you to know what will help that card or hinder that card. Okay. So let's see what you have. Wow, this is powerful. Oh, I like this. The Four of Swords and Death. The Four of Swords and Death. Now, some of you may be looking at this Death card like, oh my God, no. But the Death card is not always what you think it means. So let's get into it. I'm going to hold this one for a second. All right, so the Four of Swords. Ooh. I like this card. The Four of Swords is about laying it down. The swords are mental energy, and you see this, I don't know if he was a part of the Sphinx at one point. This line down here are just part of, the carvings that you see in ancient Egypt, Kemet. You see the pyramids in the background. But either way, this pharaoh, this guy here is laying it down. Even though he has his eyes open, he is lying down. It's like mental rest. Like, when I see this card, I know that it's time to just calm your brain down. You may be trying to solve problems. You may be trying to figure things out. You may have been just at a constant battle, something that feels draining to you. And it's just like, oh my God, I got to talk to this person again. I got to, I almost see some of you like, you ever have to call a 1-800 number, let's just say like your healthcare plan or, your life insurance or car insurance, whatever. And one of those where you got to call 1-800 whatever, and then press 1, then go through some more prompts and press 3 and it's just draining. And then you get disconnected and you got to start all over again, or they transfer you and you got to explain your story all over again. And it's overwhelming and it's irritating and it's frustrating. And at some point you just throw your hands up and you're like, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. I'm done with having these arguments. I'm done with fighting these battles. I'm done with having these conversations. I'm done with trying to figure out how to solve these problems. I'm just gonna lie down, and just chill. Because the Four of Swords is not lying down and surrendering to defeat, but lying down and understanding that someone greater than you, something greater than you, even if it is, if you believe, like, your higher self is fighting your battles for you. You can't figure it all out. Your conscious mind, you don't have enough information to figure it all out. You don't have enough strategy to figure it all out. You don't know enough to figure it all out. So it's almost like a meditative card too. Like those of you who meditate, like this might be a great time to just stop trying to fight your battles head on and really just strategize. When I say strategize, I mean like go in and just say, okay, I'm not going to keep on and keep on and keep on. I'm just going to lie down here. I'm just going to meditate. I'm going to clear my mind. And I'm going to allow some sort of divine wisdom to guide me on what I need to do next, because I don't have the answer. So the answer is already within you. We look at Mary, you know what I mean? The answer, it was already within her. The miracle she was already impregnated with the answer, with the miracle, with the Savior, you know what I mean? But as the story goes, she had to, because she knew other people wouldn't understand, she had to go into hiding for a while, and because who's gonna believe that she didn't have sex if she's pregnant? You know what I mean? So it's almost like understanding that you don't know. You're still living in this physical world with people, and how do I want to say this? It's like with the story of Mary. People, the scientifically and just whatever other, we all know people have sex and a woman gets pregnant. There are other ways to make that happen, but ultimately it's some sperm hitting the egg in order to make that woman become pregnant. So for Mary to try to say that happened, that she became pregnant and she didn't have sex and she's still a virgin, and that's a whole lot of story to try to get other folk to believe. But basically the point is that miracles can happen, right? The impossible can happen. What you think the inexplicable, the illogical is possible. That's how miracles happen, because you can't even explain how the breakthrough came, how the door opened, how the opportunity came. As long as you're still up swinging your own sword, trying to force things to happen, trying to bulldoze your way into your next phase of life, then you may go into it tired and frustrated, and you might not even do it the right way. But when you lie down, basically when you meditate, when you allow the unseen to impregnate you with the answers that you need, then the right doors will open, the right opportunities will come, the right people will come to you, but if you're going about it the logical way, you got to really tap into this full moon Pisces. Pisces is totally illogical. There's nothing logical about Piscean energy. It's all imagination. It's all dreams. It's all fantasy. It's all believing in the unseen world and believing in miracles. That's Pisces energy all day. So in order to do that, you can't be up swinging your sword. You got to lie down. You got to put down your own, not to say you can't be wise or have information, but sometimes when we just take a break and we allow the universal forces to galvanize on our behalf, then what we desire to see for our lives will break through. When I see this death card crossing it, it's like, because this is all about the next phase of your life. This is like the death of how you used to do things. You may have been someone who always tried to force your way into something, trying to make something happen instead of going with the flow. This death card, oh my God. And if you know anything about various, almost all indigenous faiths, they all have a strong belief in the ancestors and how our ancestors, our righteous ancestors, are guiding us on our path. And so this particular character here, the way they're dressed, the way their face is covered, a lot of times is how you'll see, particularly in certain African cultures, is represented by the ancestors. But the ancestors, those who are older and wiser, who have walked this path, who have gone through whatever you're going through, and know how to guide you through. It's like this is saying surrender. Lie down and allow the unseen, allow spirit to guide you. At this point, it's not saying don't take action. It's saying only take action that you hear spirit saying to you, because you may be overworked or over frustrated, or just and even if you're not frustrated, if you're just trying to break through to the next phase of your life, you can't do that on your own, in your own wisdom, because you ain't never been there before. How do you know what to do in a phase you've never even entered in before? You don't. So you have to allow what you think you know to die. Chill, relax, and allow that part of you, to die, so that greater wisdom can speak to you. So yeah. Wow. Oh my God. I really hope wow, God, I really hope that y'all are hearing this message, because now I'm seeing this card, the fates. And I already know fate is definitely about surrendering. And some of you may have trouble with that because, it's all about do or die. It's all about pushing, and I'm not saying not to, This whole reading, y'all, is so powerful. Gosh, I hope y'all are really feeling this, because it's not really about pushing forward in your own strength. It's about the miracles you want to see are going to be worked through you, not by you. The doors that will open up for you, or are opening up for you, won't be opened up by you. They'll be opened up for you, through you, if you allow. But if you're up and resistant and got your sword in hand, I'm gonna force it, I'm gonna make it work, then you're gonna miss it. Then you're gonna miss your opportunities. You're not gonna see them. And I said a couple of weeks ago, we're in the last phase of this year, and the reading that I gave at the beginning of the year for everyone, where I talked about how at the end of this year is going to be a distinct group of people who are extraordinarily happy, and a distinct group of people who are not. And it's going to be those who, yes, fought the battles that they needed to fight, but understood that they had greater power within them to fight their battles. Some of you may have battles right now that you've been trying to fight on your own and you've been losing. So that should be a sign. Stop trying to do everything on your own, because you can't. And some things spirit has to align for you. And spirit actually already has aligned for you. Some of you are already pregnant with your miracles. Some of you are already about to give birth to whatever your miracles are. Give birth to the next phase of your life. Give birth to the next opportunities. But you keep aborting your own babies through your attitude, through you thinking you know it all, through you trying to force your way in, through you trying to grind and hustle so hard without wisdom. Because those who are over you, whether it's God or your ancestors, whoever, they have long range view. They can see what you can't see. It's just like a GPS system. When your GPS says that there is a traffic jam on your highway, you will be a fool to get on that highway if you got to be somewhere in 15 minutes. Your best bet is to listen to what the GPS is saying and go around the traffic accident, go around the traffic jam that's blocking you. Some of y'all keep going down the same roads that are blocking you over and over and over again because you're not listening. You're trying to push forward in your own wisdom, your own strength, your own what you think you know. And this is saying you don't know nothing. You're talented. Even Mary, just because she had the baby Jesus in her womb, didn't mean that she knew what to do. Guess what? She went to her very older aunt or cousin or whoever she was that she went to read the story and was like, yo, sis, cousin, auntie, whatever she was. I can't remember. I can't remember who she was to her, but she was older. She was like, look, help me. I'm pregnant. The angel came, said I'm pregnant, and now I know everybody's going to think I've been out here sexing and I haven't. I'm still a virgin. What do I do? Because Mary was pregnant with a miracle, but she didn't know how to manage that miracle. Some of you are pregnant with talents, gifts, skills, all this kind of stuff, and you think that just because you have this skill, that it automatically comes with the knowledge on how to maneuver in that skill, and it doesn't. Spirit is always trying to work through you. Spirit is always using you, or you are a co-creator with Spirit, God, the ancestors, to create. It's a partnership. So stop treating your spirit component, the spirit side that's working with you, like a spouse that you want to ignore. You know what I mean? Like, you know, some people get married, but they still want to do things their way only. And it's like, what the hell? This is a partnership. We both doing this thing together. You pregnant with the miracle, the skills, the gifts, the talents, the dream, the desire, whatever. But you don't know how to get there. So you got to listen to Spirit to show you which way to go, who to talk to, who can assist you, and who might hinder you. Because you either got to give death to your ego, allow your ego to die, or your pride to die. Because I know now folk got a problem with the term ego. You might have to allow your ego, your pride self to die. Or even some of the people that you connected with aren't as beneficial as you think they are. But Spirit knows. So you got to surrender to Spirit so you can know which way to go. So you can give birth to your miracle and stop aborting it. So Fates says, fate, karma, acceptance that there are things you cannot change and knowing what those things are. The Serenity Prayer sums up the meaning of this card. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are things in life you will never have control over. The conditions brought on by the evolution of the collective, by nature, and by your past experiences may be fated, preordained by Spirit for a greater purpose you cannot understand in this lifetime. It may not be in your cards to understand why certain events occurred, but you can accept the mystery and work with what those events and your current circumstances have to teach you. This is the wisdom contained in the Serenity Prayer. Let the lessons of life be your teacher. Let Spirit right now be your teacher. Because you're pregnant with something big and major. And it might just be your own desires, your dreams. You know, even those desires and dreams that you thought were impossible. You're pregnant with the impossible. So you've done your part. Now let Spirit work through you to do its part. Lie down, meaning lie down your pride, lie down your ego, open your spiritual ears, hear, listen to what Spirit has to say to you and to your elders and the wise ones in your life. What do they have to say to you? Let your pride and your ego die. You know, you're pregnant with something big, but you don't know how to bring it forth. You don't even know the wisdom to bring it forth. If Mary didn't follow the instructions of her elders, she and Jesus would have been killed long before she gave birth to him. She probably would have been stoned to death as an immoral woman. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So likewise, you're pregnant with something big, and there might be people who want to see death to what you have, who don't want you to bring it forth. That's why you got to let Spirit guide you. Some of y'all's mouths are too loud. I don't know why I'm feeling this. Dang, I spent so much time on y'all's cards. But some of y'all talking too much to the wrong people. Shut up. You telling the wrong people how you feel and what you want and all that. And they might be trying to bring death to what you're trying to bring forward. Use wisdom. Talk to those people in your life who are wise to guide you and lead you. You know, that's what fate is. It's something you can't control. You can't control every element of your life. You are partnering with Spirit to bring it about. Now, if you don't want to bring it about, you can control the fact that you can abort your dreams. You can do that. That's your prerogative. But guess what? Somebody else will give birth to your miracles. And imagine how you will feel watching somebody else give birth to the life that you saw for yourself, to the dreams that you desire for yourself, to the goals and wishes that you have for your own life. So be quiet. Talk to those who have wisdom, who have your best interest at heart. Let spirit guide you. Meditate more so that you can bring forth the miracles that are within you. All right. So that is your reading for the week of September 15th through September 21st. Make sure you click the link below. Book a personal reading. Get the magic of self-love. And go back and listen to the opening where I talk more about this Pisces full moon for greater information and detail. All right. Until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Greetings and welcome to the reading for Pick a Card group number 2. We are looking at what you most need to know, do, and be aware of for the week of September 15th through the 21st. Make sure if you're watching this by Monday, September 16th, that you comment your card selection in order to be automatically entered to win our giveaway for the month of September. Also, make sure if you skipped ahead to this and you missed my opening discussion, because I'm not just calling it announcements anymore, make sure you go back and listen to that, because I go in about what this recent what this recent full moon in Pisces that we just had, the impact that it's having on all of us. And so Pisces being the last sign of the zodiac is for us to have a full moon in the sign of Pisces. We're all entering into the next phase. Our next full moon will actually be in the sign of Aries, which ushers us into the beginning of the zodiac as it relates to the moon, even though we'll, still just be leaving Virgo season going into Libra season. Well, we'll be in Libra season when we have that full moon in Aries. And so anyway, so make sure you go back and listen to that. Click the link below to book a personal reading, to get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, and to leave a donation. All right, and so the stones that you have at the top of your cards are selenite and peach selenite. So basically 2 selenites. 2 selenite stones. Selenite is really good for spiritual consciousness and awareness. Selenite is one of those stones that really bring about clarity, and really clarity on what is happening on the subconscious mind. So sometimes selenite is really good. Like if you have a problem you're trying to figure out and you're consciously trying to think of all of the possible solutions and you just can't come up with one, and then you can sleep with some selenite under your pillow or just carry it with you, and you'll just have intuitive insight. You'll just kind of know what to do. It just really helps you with spiritual awareness. And peach selenite is doing the same thing, but it's also working with the heart chakra energy, that love energy, helping you to heal from heartbreak or matters of the heart, helping you to love openly and freely without fear, and helping you to heal any matters of the heart. And so if you want to know more about selenite and peach selenite, you know what I always tell you to do? Google selenite. All right, so the card that you have on top of here, especially those of you, this is your first time watching, I always like to explain everything, but the card that you have on top of here is a goddess, comes from a goddess energy deck, and the goddess wisdom is for us all, men, women, it doesn't matter. Is the message is still the same. I don't look at what these cards are before I hit record, so I don't know which goddess you have. Some I'm familiar with and some I'm just learning about. So I will read the message that comes with this particular card. And so, wow. Uzume, I believe is how it's pronounced. Her name is pronounced. I'm not entirely sure. This is such a beautiful card. Just take a moment, just take her in. You know what I always tell y'all? We co-collaborators in this reading. Don't just be waiting for me to tell you things. But just take a moment to just look over this card. It says humor at the bottom. It's such a joyous energy. What I'm feeling is kind of a reminder of the joy of life and remembering to laugh, remembering to find pleasure in life, and not letting the circumstances of life or just the things that maybe we hear on the news or things that's going on to keep us from laughing, to keep us from experiencing joy and keep us from experiencing that love energy, right? So let's see what this goddess has to say to us. The first message that I will read is the empowerment message. So it's just the general message that she has for you. And then I will go into the alignment message so that if at any time throughout the week you find yourself out of alignment with this particular goddess energy, then the alignment message is what you need to do to get back into tune with it, okay? So the empowerment message says, when the Japanese goddess of laughter and mirth, Uzume, enters your day, be playful and cultivate good-natured humor. Laughter is the best medicine and exceptionally healing at this time. Keep your focus on fun and positivity and see the humor if you can. Life is not meant to be all work and no play, all focus and no all focus and no release. Humor fosters resilience and lightheartedness alleviates emotional pain, giving a much needed break from the burdens and speed of life. Now is the time for you to be silly, laugh more, even take up laughing yoga. Yes, the world is serious and your dreams and desires are too, but the joyful goddess Uzume reminds you to enjoy your life and have fun. And the alignment message says, have you been taking yourself and your life too seriously lately? Has life become a burden? Do you feel indentured to a project or person, and the heaviness of it all makes it difficult to believe there could be relief? Well, the laughing goddess Uzume has arrived to let you know to stop right now and be playful. Look for the funny, ridiculous, and foolish in the world. It's time for some comedy. Be like a child today. Finger paint. Call your funniest friends and do laughing yoga. Have a giggle fest. The goddess Uzume reminds you when you get too serious, she will help you laugh. This is the right way to balance all the hard work you've been doing lately. You are loved. Wow. Oh, I like her. All right. So, so this week September 15th through the 21st, this week we are looking at what you need to know, do, or be aware of in order to enter successfully in the next phase of your life. We're entering into a new phase. And so, and even how do you want to close out this year? Perhaps if you're someone who's been taking things way too seriously, or, maybe you've had a few challenges as it relates even to the heart chakra area of your life, heart matters of the heart. Maybe it doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship, but just even dealing with, maybe your loved ones, family and friends. Things could have been challenging or burdensome and whatnot. And this is just the time, take a load off. Remember the love. Sometimes even like, let's just say your children are doing things that you are not enjoying, right? Or you have a brother or sister or some member of your family who is just, their lifestyle or something they're doing is just so irritating and it's overwhelming you. Remember why you love them. Sometimes all you can do is love. Sometimes you don't have to agree, but you can love. You can look at other people in their lives and say, wow, I wouldn't have done it that way, or I wish that you would do things a little differently, but it's not going to stop me from loving you. So some of you I feel some of you who selected this card group may be overwhelmed and overburdened, not even just from your own life choices, but because of what your loved ones are doing. And it's keeping you from enjoying your joy in your life. And so you have to remember that you have a life too. You have a reason to experience joy as well. Don't forget to laugh and to be humorous and to enjoy life just because of what somebody else is doing. And don't let them steal your joy, right? Don't let that irritating coworker steal your joy. Don't take things too seriously. Do what you can in this life, do what you need to do in this life, and then have fun. Remember to have fun. Remember this week, do things this week that are intentionally for the sole purpose of just bringing joy and humor into your life. Do something so silly and ridiculous just because you want to laugh. And sometimes, like the message was saying, it mentioned twice laughing yoga, and I've seen people do that. I've never done it myself, but I've seen people do that, and it looks silly from the outsider, right? One's not doing it. It's like those people just stand all in there laughing, but there's a certain energy and certain endorphins, that are released when we laugh. Even how we, the oxygen levels that go out from laughing, that go in and out just from laughing, it just elevates the joy. It creates good health and vitality in our bodies. So if you just gotta laugh, if you just gotta watch the dumbest, silliest movie on TV that has no real purpose, you ever watch one of those dumb movies? I mean, it's so dumb, it's funny. Like, just take some time to just watch the silliest movies or watch old cartoons. I actually did that last week. I went back and I watched I think it was a Cartoon Network was showing like some of the old Looney Tunes, and I was like, man, I remember like loving this. I really sat there for like an hour and a half, like watching Looney Tunes and laughing, you know what I mean? Eating snacks, like for real. If you got to do that, do that. Because we take things so seriously in this world, and life can be so heavy that we forget humor. And humor is like a pressure release valve, where we're able to release tension from our minds and even our physical bodies just from laughter. All right, so make sure you do that. And if you want to know more of the story of this goddess, because all of the goddesses come with their own stories, their own mythology. Make sure that you look up, I believe it's pronounced Uzume, Uzume. All right. So the cards that you receive, the cards on the bottom are, your general energy. The card that crosses it is the one that can tell you what could help or hinder this energy here. All right. So, oh my gosh. Wow. You receive the Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Wands. It's so interesting that we are talking about this new phase and this new energetic shift, a new phase that, we're going into. And so when I see the Wheel of Fortune, I know that a new phase is here. A new phase. The wheel is turning. And the wheel can turn anyway. Fortune doesn't always mean good. When we talk about fortune, we think, oh, good fortune. But that's good fortune. Some people have bad fortune. You know what I mean? Fortune is just what is to come. But because this card is crossed with the Queen of Wands, I'm really feeling, more so good fortune. But the Wheel of Fortune indicates a change, an energetic shift, a change. The wheel has turned. What was is past, and now we have moved on to the next phase. So this week in your life, especially with you getting the goddess Uzume, you really should, if you're coming out of a phase of trials, tribulations, sorrow, irritation, downtroddenness, irritation, just feeling like you just can't get ahead, use humor, to turn the wheel. And you know what I'm thinking about? Have you ever been in a heavy situation, like the mood was real heavy, maybe even at a funeral or something, or just something really just, maybe there was a huge fight, and so there's a lot of tension in the room. And then somebody makes the silliest, dumbest joke. And it's not even so much that the joke is so funny, but it's just enough to make people laugh that it totally changes the energy in the room. That's what the Wheel of Fortune in this reading kind of reminds me of. Like something you consciously and intentionally becoming more joyous is what turns the wheel for you. You spending more time with your children to just laugh. You spending more time with your spouse to just have a good time, not to talk about the bills or whatnot, but to just remember why y'all are in love, why y'all chose to get married, or why y'all chose to be in a partnership. You just taking a load off. Because sometimes we think in order for situations to change, for the wheel to change, for us to, for this wheel to turn, for us to experience, good fortune, that it's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of energy, got to do this, got to check everything off of our to-do list. And guess what? Sometimes it's just a moment of clarity, like the selenite clarity, a moment of clarity that just says, you know what, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy no matter what this situation is right now. It's not going to steal my joy. I'm choosing to laugh. I'm choosing to have fun. I'm choosing to engage in humor. I'm choosing to enjoy my life. And guess what? You sit at the wheel of your life. You sit at the helm, right? You're the one who turns the wheel for yourself. You making that conscious and intentional decision is what changes things in your favor. Sometimes people will work with you only because they like you. Think about how many times either you or somebody has maybe even gotten a job, not because they were the best candidate, but because people liked them. Or they tried out for something and made the team, not because they were the best football player, the best, cheerleader, whatever. They just were brought in because they were likable. And it was just something about them. So a lot of the heavy lifting that you may have thought that you had to do in the past will come just from you lightening your own load, you taking a load off mentally and spiritually, and just laughing, enjoying life. Because when you bring joy, the whole world bends to you. On this Queen of Wands card, we see this sunflower in the background, and it reminds me of how the sunflowers tend to follow the path of the sun. So when the sun is in the east, they literally, the sunflower turns itself towards the sun, and as the sun is rising in the sky and gets to noonday and then sets in the evening, the sunflowers tend to follow it. They're following joy. Like they're like you ever seen a little puppy when the owner comes home and the puppy is running and jumping and happy and just wants to soak up all of that person's essence, basically just wants to be in their presence. That's kind of what the sunflower is doing. It's like, wow, the sun is giving life, is giving energy, and I just want to follow its path. Likewise, when you become joyous, who doesn't want to follow her path? I don't even know this full goddess's story, and I'm looking at this card and I'm like, wow, I'd like to meet her. Just because she just seems like a joy to be around, Be that person. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. It's just the message that matters. Be that person. And not necessarily because you're trying to win people over or because you're trying to lure people to like you. Be that person because you like yourself. Be that person because you love yourself. Find humor, find joy, and walk in that every single day, and watch, just like this sunflower, the people will want to be in your presence, the right people. And even if some of the wrong folk want to come around because they see your joy and they want some of it, guess what? You'll have enough self-love because you'll know how much that joy cost you. You know what I mean? That it was intentional, that you already know how to block the wrong people out. Because as soon as they start sucking your joy, you're like, oh yeah, nah, you got to go get your own joy. This is mine. You got to go get your own. You know what I mean? Come BYOJ. Bring your own joy, okay? Don't come over here with some BOYB. Bring your own bullshit. Like, no, don't do that. No BYOB. BYOJ. Bring your own joy. Those are the people who, will you'll want to be around and want to be around you. The Queen of Wands, this queen, I love when this woman shows up, because in most readings, and it depends on the reading, to be honest with you, how she'll behave. She's kind of like a lot of goddesses who sometimes can be temperamental, but at the same time, she's pure joy. She is the goddess. The Queen of Wands is that type, is that energy who that can is that person, I'll put it like this, is that person who people love to be around. You don't know why you want to be around her. You don't know why when she walks in the room, the whole energy changes. You don't know why people just love her or like her. And some people might hate her because people just like her. You know what I mean? But it's because that joy is within her. That radiance is within her. Ain't nobody, what's that gospel? I think it's a gospel song where nobody can steal my joy. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. You know, it's that joy that resides within. Ain't nobody give it to you, so nobody can take it away from you. Only person that can take it away from you is you. And that's how you work your magic. That's how you make things work out for you. It's through your joy, through your presence of joy, through your presence of humor and happiness and the joy of life and the joy for living. That's how you turn your own wheel of fortune. Is by being like the Queen of Wands, who through what seems like magic to other people can't put their finger on what makes her be able to galvanize, you know, people to just love her and almost worship her and want to be around her and just, you know, love to be in her presence. People can't put their finger on it. You know why? Because it's something internal. That something is within you. That joy is within you. That light and that love and that power and that energy and that joy and that humor and that zest and zeal for life. How do the French say it? Oh Lord, don't let me butcher that language. Joie la vivre. I don't know, but it means joy for life. You know, that joy for life and that zest for life is within you. Hello. That's what this week is all about. Enter into this new phase with joy and humor. Get rid of any gloominess of the past. And that's how your wheel of fortune will turn in your favor. So let's see what your wisdom card says. Oh, the tribe. And I know this card is all about, you know, finding your tribe and pulling the right people to you and whatnot. But let's see what it says. The tribe, community, belonging, being seen and understood by others, like-minded connections, a sense of family and friendship, knowing your place in the world. This card signals a new affiliation with a group. Humans are social creatures, and we need to know we are useful to our tribes, families, and communities. In a tribe, everyone has an important function and feels I matter. Membership in the group provides a sense of belonging, of kinship, and of purpose that comes from working together for the greater fulfillment of all. Perhaps you are part of a spiritual community or an artistic one. Perhaps you are in a learning community where you share your love of education. Regardless of its form or focus, your community brings you joy. You will be inspired by it and want to contribute to it. Your contribution may be as small as showing up or as large as becoming its leader. No matter your position in the tribe, your presence is needed. I'm also going to read the relationship message for you all. The relationship message says, you're discovering the essential qualities that you share with another and perhaps also those you don't share. There are times when you follow and the other person leads, and times when you lead and the other follows. The appearance of this card points to the importance of learning the proper dance between you and another. Accepting the truth that everyone has flaws is part of that dance, yet you are also being asked to be aware of the dynamics that you don't want to repeat. You're in the perfect place to make changes in order to experience the best version of who you can be together. Wow, that is so on point. So the tribe, you know, is really the place where you feel that you belong. And where you feel you belong does bring you a sense of joy. And you actually bring joy to that tribe because you belong. You feel that you belong there. And even in love relationships, what did I say at the beginning? You know, some of you may need to let go of the expectations that you have of other people. Other people have their things that they have to go through in life. They have to discover themselves. They have to have their own experiences in life. And you being hurt by everything that someone else does, no matter if it's a love, romantic partnership, a family member, whatever, it may be hindering them from having their own experiences in life. And you have to remember to just love them. Just always come with love and joy. Even about the parts that you don't like. Understand that's just a part of life. But as long as you're bringing joy to the situation, as long as you're exuding joy in your own life, as long as you are allowing your light to shine. And it's very interesting. Sidebar, I made a post on Facebook, Facebook and Instagram today, and I was holding up this card. And it's a picture that I took 2 weeks ago. So it's very interesting that this card actually showed up in today's pick a card reading. So I made the post today, but it was a picture that I took a while ago, and it still showed up. So some of you just really needed to know that this is a very beautiful reading. Your wheel of fortune is turning to the degree that you allow joy and love and humor in your life, and to bring that joy, humor, and beauty to your tribe. Look at those two giraffes. It's like a mother and a child, She's nurturing him, and he knows he belongs to her, So that's where the love is. All right, so that is your reading for this week. I thank you for allowing me to share a bit of wisdom with you this week. Make sure you click the link below to book a personal reading, leave a donation, get the magic of self-love, and go back and listen to the opening to learn more about the full moon in Pisces. Till we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thank you. Greetings and welcome to the Pick a Card Group 3 reveal. For those of you who selected card group number 3, these are your results. If you skipped ahead, make sure you go back either after you watch this, or you can do it now, and listen to my message at the beginning. I'm no longer calling it just announcements, but it's like my opening message. And because this week we are looking at what you most need to know, do, and be aware of in order to enter into this new phase, this next phase. And so I really talked about the moon phase that we just had in the sign of Pisces. We just had a full moon in the sign of Pisces, which occurred on Friday the 13th. And so I talked a little bit about that at the beginning, which will help give more clarity and insight to your pick a card results. So make sure you go back and listen to that. Click the link below to book a personal reading, to get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, and to leave a donation. Thank you so much. So anyway, so the stones that you have at the top of your cards are a quartz crystal, clear quartz, and a moonstone. Quartz crystal and a moonstone. So this quartz crystal, or this clear quartz, deals a lot with, you can program a clear quartz crystal. You can actually speak into it and tell it what clarity you are looking for, and it will help you find the clarity and guidance that you need. Clear quartz kind of magnifies whatever energy is around, so it could be used. That's why a lot of times this is one of the most popular stones, and it is used with a lot of other stones. Like you can use it with this labradorite, the amethyst, the selenite, all stones, because they help to amplify the energy of other stones. And clear quartz is also used in computers and so much of our technology, so it's one of those that really works with brain function. Obviously, if it can use, if a computer is used to or created to imitate a human brain, think about what a quartz crystal does. And some of this, I ain't a scientist, but the folk that I know who know tell me that there are parts of our body that have the same elements of quartz crystal. Like even how we're able to hear is because of what the elements that are in our ears, the eardrum, and there's the elements, same elements that are contained within a quartz crystal, and things of that nature. And then the moonstone. So this is dealing with some high mental energy right here. And moonstone is dealing with high spiritual and intuitive information. So we got mental and spiritual, mental and intuitive. Moonstone, especially since we just had this full moon in Pisces, moonstone is one of those stones that's really good to work with during major moon phases, or if you're trying to enhance your feminine energy within. And whether you are a man or woman, we all carry feminine and masculine energies within us. So if you're looking for the feminine quality, which is more receptive, which is more intuitive, then moonstone is really good with that. It's one of the stones that rules over the zodiac sign Cancer. And so anyway, I'm gonna stop there because this ain't a crystal reading. This is a card reading. So if you want to know more about these particular stones, make sure you Google clear quartz crystal and moonstone. All right. So the cards that we have here, the card that you have on top here is I'm laughing because, okay, if y'all pick number 3, y'all the only ones that's hearing this. But in between each one of these readings, I take kind of a little break because I want to adjust to the next group that I'm doing, and I don't want to carry the old energy, the previous energy into your reading. And so like people who pick card group number 1, like their reading was so long. And it took me a while to get to where I was trying to get to. And then I just went in hard. So then when their reading was over, it was like I had to take a break before I went into this one. And then their reading was more lighthearted. So that's why I'm still kind of laughing. Even though I took a break, I'm more lighthearted. So I hope y'all's reading is still lighthearted because I want to keep it going. Anyway, but I don't know because I don't turn these cards over until I actually start your reading. So who knows where this train will go. Anyway, so the card that's on the top of your deck, for those of you who are just now, maybe this is your first time watching, is a goddess energy card. And the goddess energy, I don't know which goddess you received. Some of them I'm familiar with, some I'm just learning about. So I will read the message that she has, and I'll also give my 2 cents in on it as well. Also, I didn't say this before, but make sure that if you're watching this on or before Monday, September 16th, and you want to be in the running for our September giveaway, make sure you comment below this video, whichever card group you selected. I know a lot of you already commented on Instagram and Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you comment below. All right, back to your reading. So anyway, so I don't know what goddess you received, so I'll read what she has to say. But I'll also give my own insight, my own little 2 cents in on that as well, as we go into your reading. And so the goddess that you receive, wow. Ooh, this is I like this. Yuki Onna. The goddess Yuki Onna. Now, I haven't read the information about her, obviously. But I'm just taking in the card. And, some of you, if you've been with me for any length of time, I say that our readings are we co-collaborate on this. So you can take in the energy as well. But what I'm feeling, you can't get nothing past her. Look at her. Look at... I don't know how focused this is, but, look at her eyes and the solemnness of her face. And as you can see down here, is written the word stillness. Just like a stillness, a quietness, being in tune. And when you're still, can't nothing get past you. When you're still, can't no one get over on you. When you're still and you're not easily moved by what people say, by what they do. When you tap into like this moonstone, your what spirit is saying, your own intuitive knowing is saying, you can read between the lines. You can see the truth plain as day, even when people try to hide it. But if you're all in your emotions, and when I say emotions, I'm not saying don't feel anything, but if you're all in your emotions in a way that's people can easily incite you to anger, people can easily incite you to sadness, somebody else can easily is like operating, holding the puppet strings to your emotions. You can't hear what spirit is really trying to say. But when you're still, you can read other people's intentions. You can realize, you can tell when somebody says something to you because you need to know it and because they have your best interests at heart, versus those who tell you something because they're really trying to hurt you. You'll know, you can know the motives and intentions behind the actions of others, which will always keep you in the power seat of your own life. And it's not about having power just for the sake of having power, but it is about maintaining control or maintaining sovereignty, maintaining yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Maintaining yourself, having yourself, and not other people being able to pull you at a whim according to their own maybe manipulation or whatever. I don't know why I'm going that route. But let's see what the goddess actually has to say. What is the message of Yuki Onna? You can always Google her to know her story. All of the goddesses have a story, a mythology. So you can always Google who she is to get further clarity. I will read two messages. The empowerment message is the general message that she has for you. And the alignment message is what you need to know just in case you get out of alignment with her energy, with stillness. All right. So the empowerment message says, the Japanese goddess of winter, Yuki Onna, calls you to a practice of daily meditation and stillness to prepare you for greater productivity and results. Being open and receptive, slowing down, and allowing for time to dream activates your partnership with the universe so you can truly set your intentions in motion. Then, almost without effort, you discover their vibrational match in the world of form. Just as the life force quietly builds within a seed buried under snow, so too will the energy build in the seed of your desires before manifesting with no effort on your path. You will find how easy it is to co-create while implementing a practice of stillness and receptivity. Let others make the first move at this time as you assess and observe the world around you from the profound position of stillness and neutrality. In this way, the world becomes more intimate. Yet you know to take nothing personally. When the goddess Yuki Onna comes to support you, be still. This calls in the miracles. The action now is non-action. Wow. And the alignment message says, some days you wake up frozen, stuck, unable to move due to the effects of emotional denial and resistance to what is in front of you. Or maybe you are exhausted, spent from the emotional burden of your current situation. The winter goddess Yuki Onna has come to help you move out of and past this experience into a healthier state of stillness. When you are frozen, it's the ego that is refusing to accept life on life's terms, potentially causing you fear and depression. A particular situation or person may be causing you to see yourself as a victim. The goddess Yuki Onna reminds you that this is but a temporary moment in the millions of moments of your life. The task she has for you is to answer one question. Will you trust the great goddess in the universe to be your active partner in co-creating? If so, slow down and let all your troubles go, and you will see the miracles life has to offer you. Wow. If that is not on point with what I was saying, and even with the stones that were placed on top of your cards, I didn't know that this goddess would be here. And I didn't know Yuki Onna was a winter goddess. And it's funny because when I laid these stones down, I wasn't even going to do these 2 stones on the top of each one of these decks, but it reminded me of winter, like ice, you know. And clear quartz sometimes is referred to as like ice, you know. It looks like ice. With her being a winter goddess, it's like, you know, the stillness of winter, not even the harshness of winter, but the stillness of winter. You know how when it first snows, and it's something about that first snow, it's like it comes down so quietly, and you look out your window and it's like, what, where did those 2, 3, 4 inches of snow come from? And it's like everything has gone still. It's quiet, you know. Everyone, you know, it's not a lot of traffic out, you know, depending on where you are. I'm from the South, so everything kind of shuts down if it snows, but it may be different if you're from a city where it snows a lot and nothing will shut down. But it's still a kind of a quietness to it and a stillness to it. And it's a knowing that life will renew. Life will begin again, but we need the silence. We need the stillness in order to, you know, everything can't be about doing, going, talking, you know, noise. It has to be, you know, a time of stillness. And it's very interesting. I highly encourage you to go back and listen to my opening message, because that I did at the very beginning of this video, at the announcements, where I talk about the full moon being in Pisces that we just experienced. And even though right now we're still in Virgo season, the full moon that occurs during Virgo season every year, when we're in Virgo season, the full moon that we experience is always in the sign of Pisces. And Pisces, when the sun is actually in Pisces, that happens in February and March during the tail end of winter, depending on where you are in the world. So it's very interesting that the moon that we just experienced is a moon that is associated with winter, ice, snow. When things are still cold, but spring is ready to burst forth. Something in this opening message that kind of tied into what I said. Let's see. I can't remember. You're going to have to go back and listen to it again. But it's somewhere where it said that knowing the intentions of others and, you know, knowing, okay, a particular situation or person may be causing you to see yourself as a victim. When you are frozen, it's the ego that is refusing to accept life on life's terms, potentially causing you fear and depression. So those of you who may be feeling that end of it, it's time to get still. It's time to center yourself into knowing who you are, into understanding everybody's intentions and motives aren't always for your best. And this energy here, this goddess here, speaks to when you get still, you'll know what other people's intentions are. Are they for your highest good? Do you have someone who's always making you feel like a victim, always pulling you? You know, they're the puppeteer and you're the puppet, and they can use your emotions to pull you here and there. You know, or are people's intentions pure and good? You know, only you can assess that. But if you're in victim mode, if you're feeling like, and it's very interesting because Pisces, this with us having a full moon in Pisces energy itself sometimes can go into victimhood. So, you know, feeling like a victim, feeling woe is me, feeling like, you know, I wish I could, but I can't. I wish people would let me, but they won't. I wish, you know, it's so unfair, you know, how this person did me, or how this person's treating me, or how this job is turning out. And, you know, I can't have what other people have. I can't have the success that other people are having. I can't, you know, as long as you're in victim mode, you don't have the power to turn things around. Yuki Onna's energy, being that of stillness, is getting rooted and grounded in the power that's within. Just like this, the message talked about the seeds that are in the ground during winter. when you're looking at winter, it looks like nothing will ever grow. You might be in that cycle of your life where you feel like nothing will ever grow, nothing will ever come out of this, nothing will ever change. But the seeds of change are already in you, just like the seeds of spring are in the ground even during winter. All right. So stay encouraged. All right. So, and look up the goddess Yuki Onna to learn more about her story. So the cards that you receive here, the one on the bottom is the general guidance and wisdom for you. The one that crosses it helps to give further clarity, insight on what could hinder or hurt that energy there. And so you receive, wow, okay, the Knight of Cups and the Six of Swords. The Knight of Cups and the Six of Swords. It's very interesting. When I see the Knight of Cups, I know, so the Knight of Cups is a card of following your heart. Of, well, this horse is brown, but, they always say the knight on the white horse, like love coming in. But it's also about following your heart. And being intentional about following your heart. The Knight of Cups there's nothing victim about the Knight of Cups. Now, sometimes somebody can fall victim to the person who is the Knight of Cups. Like you might have had, whether you're a man or a woman, you could have had someone come into your life in a love relationship and make all these lovely promises to you, Don Juan of sorts. And you really got wrapped up in that love relationship or that idea of love or that ideal that they sold you on. And they might not be living up to it. Or, you may have had a belief in love that is not panning out. You followed your heart and it didn't pan out the way you wanted it to. Now I'm feeling like a love relationship. But those of you who selected card group number 3, this really could just be, you following your heart on something that you thought was going to work. It could be a career, it could be, the energy you poured into your children, it could have been a project, could be whatever. And maybe it didn't work. The Knight of Cups isn't always about something not working. But the reason why I'm feeling that way is because it's crossed by the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is about leaving something behind. Leaving a situation, after having put your all into something and then leaving it, realizing that you have nothing left to give there, or you have nothing left to receive in that situation. So this week, because we're looking at what you most need to know, do, or be aware of in order to enter into this new phase, some of you may find that you may be having to leave a situation, a person, a relationship, whatever, that started out really lovely, or you thought was going to be, that promised all of this Knight of Cups energy of, heartfelt, working out energy, and you realize now it really is not going to work out. And really having to, I feel that some of you may really have to come to terms with that, especially with this Yuki Onna being with stillness. Some of you may really have to come to terms with some people you can't love, or some people you can love, but they can't receive your kind of love, or some projects that you poured your heart into, the way you thought it was going to work out is not going to work out that way. There's another way for it to pan out in your favor, but the way that you maybe, you had your heart set on it turning out a certain way is turning out to be a little bit different. Now, your option is, do you mope and whine about it? Like what I say at the beginning about having a person or a project or a situation being able to be a puppeteer and you're the puppet, where every time they come around or every time you think about that situation, you get angry, you get sad, you get depressed, right? Or do you get into this Yuki Onna, the highness of what the high energy of Yuki Onna, what her empowerment message is saying is to get still. To get still and understand that even in winter, there's a promise of spring. Let me go back and look at that right quick. Even in winter, there's a promise of spring. Even when things are dead, the whole point of winter is to allow certain things do have to die so that something new can be reborn. We have a saying, I don't know if this is said everywhere, but I know like in the South, if we didn't sometimes we have really cold winters, and then sometimes we have really mild winters where it barely gets cold. It might not even snow. It might not, whatever. And then when spring comes and all of these bugs, like it'll be relentless bugs in the spring and summer. And it's a saying that, well, because the winter wasn't hard enough, it didn't get cold enough to kill everything off. And so now when spring came with new life, some of the old life is still hanging around. Right. And then you're mad. Like you're happy in December and January when it's not that cold. But then you're mad about it later because you realize because it didn't get cold enough, certain things weren't able to really go through the full cycle of life like they should have. And so you want the winter seasons. You want the winter cycles of life so that what is not for you can really die off. So what's not for you and who is not for you can really go and get out of your life. But are you going to wallow in sadness and depression about that? Or are you going to realize that it's a part of life? What did Yuki Onna say? I just went back and pulled it out. Calls you to a practice of daily meditation and stillness to prepare you for greater productivity. Being open and receptive, slowing down and allowing for time to dream, and allowing time for dreaming to activate your partnership with the universe so that you can truly set your intentions in motion. Your intentions, not other people's intentions. When you're gifted, when you're loving, when you're lovable, it's a lot of people want to pull that energy from you. A lot of people have their own intentions for you. But what are your intentions? That's what Yuki Onna is saying. What are your intentions for your life? You can't let other people use you for their own good. They're either going to partner with you so both of y'all can be happy, or they're going to use you for their own intentions and you'll just keep feeding it to them. So some of you, I'm feeling very strongly, need to use this time because, like I said, this is about going into a new phase, a new cycle. You don't want to go into a new phase, a new cycle of your life with the same old stuff. So it's time to look at certain things, people, whatever in your life that it may be time to walk away from. Six of Swords is all about, and the swords is always mental energy, but it's like taking your mind off of something. And even if it's like a love relationship and you just had your mind on it so hard because you're trying to figure out how to make it work out or how to make this situation with your child work out or your family or this whatever. The Six of Swords is like taking your mental energy off of it and sailing away. It's very interesting though, as I hold them up like this, it could be sailing away from a former love situation into a new one because they're coming together. He's going this way. These people on here are going, they're meeting. So that's this isn't a personal reading. This is a weekly pick a card for a large group of people. So you have to take this message and apply it to your own life. But some of you, it's really time to get quiet, to get still, no longer allow yourself to be pulled here and there emotionally, and look at how you genuinely feel about a situation. If you don't like how you feel, if you don't like how somebody's consistently making you feel all the time, or you feel the victim of a situation, then it's time for you to walk away from it. It's time for you to sail away from it and find peace and joy and love elsewhere. And because I'm the author of The Magic of Self-Love, that begins within. that begins within first. Some people just go out of the arms of one person into the arms of the next person, and you haven't even allowed yourself time to heal. And that next person might be great, but they might be the Knight of Cups, the dream lover. The Knight of Cups is always like the dream lover, They might be the dream lover. That might be the dream partnership or project or situation or whatever that you're running to. But if you're not healed, if you're running, if you've had your puppet strings pulled by somebody else for so long, and then you don't know what it's like to be still and stand on your own, you don't know who you are, then you run right into another puppet string situation. And that other person, sometimes the other person ain't even intentionally trying to maliciously pull your puppet strings. It's just that you're not doing it. You're not intentional about your own life. So you're always victim to other people's opinions, other people's feelings, emotions, other people's intentions and wants. They're not even really trying to do anything to you on purpose. It's just you're not manning your own puppet strings. You're allowing, so it just, what is it, the saying, like, by not voting, you voted, by not standing up, you still made a choice. By not being the master of your fate, by not being the master of your own intentions, you are already saying, I want somebody else to do it for me. And so you always be a victim. Your happiness and joy will always be at the effect of something else, or hoping, some new job or some new opportunity or whatnot, and instead of you being the master of that. Let's go into your wisdom card. Let's see what that says. All right, so you received by the book. By the book. So let's see what that says. 1 second. By the book. Abiding by social rules, conformity, respecting cultural or family customs, universal laws. The universe works within a structure of divine laws and principles that provides a framework for human experience and evolution. The law of abundance, the law of prayer, the law of karma, the law of attraction, the law of thought, the law of compensation, and the law of nature are only a few that are known. These principles create perfect order and operate with a kind of precision beyond human understanding. Even revolution has its place in universal law. Human beings, in turn, have their own laws and customs that vary from culture to culture and family to family. Laws keep social order and govern behavior, reflecting an instinctive understanding that harmony is important. This is a time to learn these laws and conform to them rather than being the rebel and flouting them. When this card appears, submit to structure and follow the rules, even if they seem to make no sense. Release resistance, for universal laws will correct any disharmony. Open your eyes to those universal laws, and it will be easier to go by the book at this time. Wow. How I feel that this card is playing into your other ones is that, when it named all of the laws, like law of attraction, law of compensation, law of abundance, all of the different laws, there are universal laws at play that you being a victim is just not going to fly with. If you perceive yourself as a victim, that's the energy you give out. Therefore, that's the energy you receive. If you abide by, hold yourself to heartbreak and fear or suspicion or whatever, that's the energy you put out. And so that's what comes back to you. You can't override universal laws and principles and it's not something that's outside of you. A lot of times when we talk about universal laws and principles, we talk about it like it's something outside of us, out there in the universe, is bigger than us. But you are a smaller version of the entire universe. So those universal laws are playing within you. If you have taken on the persona in any part of your life of victim, then that is what you receive back. And it won't be anybody else doing it to you. It will be you doing it to yourself. But if you put out there the sense of stillness, residing in your own power, working with the universe. I know that this, when I read the empowerment message, it talked about being co-creative with the universe. Then that's what you pull back to you. We're entering into a new phase where, and that full moon in Pisces deals with illusions, where you can't afford to be in any illusions of love. Any illusions of, and when I say love, it could be romantic and partnership, but it could just be any illusions, anywhere where you're delusional or illusionary in your thinking and not seeing clearly. The Six of Cups is seeing clearly. The Six of Swords is seeing clearly, and seeing clearly what no longer benefits you and sailing away from it. Okay? And as you sail away from it, remember your own power, because you don't want to sail away from it and go right into another situation that's not best for you, right? Or that makes a lot of promises to be the best for you, but ultimately turns out to be nothing. You want to sail into your power. You want to sail into situations, love, and all those sorts of things that are genuine. And the only way to do that is to get still and be genuine within yourself, knowing that you can't accept that. I made a post recently on Instagram that said something, I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was something like, you can't find your value in other people, but it can be reflected in the people you keep company with, right? So let's say you're in a love relationship and you want that person you find your value in that person, right? Your self-esteem is highly attached to that relationship or that job or that person. Well, your self-esteem can't come from anybody else or anything else. It has to come from within. So it's not so much that who you're with or what you're attached to gives you your self-esteem, but it's definitely a reflection of how you feel about yourself. And if you're in situations where you're constantly being disrespected, disregarded, undermined in any kind of way, it's a reflection of how you value yourself. And you can be saying, no, I value myself. But if you keep sailing away into situations that undermine and undervalue you, then it's time to get still and really rebuild your self-worth and your self-value, because this new phase of your life is very promising. It's very promising. But the laws of the universe are not going to bend just because you want them to. They'll bend because you're in alignment with them. All right. So that is your reading for this week of September 15th through the 21st. Make sure you go back, listen to the announcements, my message at the beginning. Make sure you click the link below to book a personal reading, to get the magic of self-love, and to also leave a donation. Until we speak again, I'm wishing you so much peace and love. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this week's Pick a Card reading. Make sure that you click the link below in order to book a personal reading, to get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, and to also leave a donation if this Pick a Card reading has resonated with you in any kind of way. Make sure you go back and rewatch whichever cards you picked, your segment again throughout the week, as something that you listen to today may actually make more sense as we get further into the week. So make sure you come back here and rewatch this, and like, subscribe, and watch some of the other videos on my channel. Up right now is Everybody is a Virgo, including you. So make sure that you watch that video no matter what sign you are. Currently, we are still in Virgo season, so there's a lot of wisdom and guidance that is available to us all about what we should be doing right now. So make sure you watch that video. I will link that below. So that's it for this week's Pick a Card. Thank you so much for watching. Until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thanks.